All right, hello and welcome to a session of FitEssentials Basics. My name is Shauna. I'll be guiding you through this session. We're going to go ahead and start standing, or no, I have my chair there. We're going to start seated with our spinal cord breathing from seated, and then we'll be working our way up to standing. So go ahead, if you're not already, join me in the chair. All right, so as you come to seated, make sure you're sitting right up on your sit bones. We have a tendency to kind of sit back onto our pelvis and get slouched through the low back. So you want to sit up nice and tall. As we breathe in, we're going to circle our arms around. Bring your hands and your forearms together. Kind of pull those elbows in as well. And then when you go to breathe out, pull the belly in towards your spine, arms down to the chest, and bow your chin down. Now, as we breathe in, we're going to lift the chest, divide the arms, circling through, and you want to pull those elbows back behind you. Just gently look up slightly. And then we reverse it on the exhale. Exhale, circle the arms back down, bowing down, belly pulls in towards the spine. That's our rhythm. Breathe in. Nice deep cleansing breath. Also try to focus on the hands. Spread those fingers as wide as you can. Wonderful. Exhale, down and in. Chin to the chest. Belly button pulls into the spine. Let's go twice more on the inhale. Circle those arms open, just slightly lift the head. You want to look up to where your ceiling meets the wall. Yep, and then forward fold, exhaling. Arms pull down to the chest, chin pulls in. Last time on that inhale. Circle those arms around, nice deep breath, shoulders down out of those ears as you pull those elbows back. And then this will be our final exhale of this exercise. Really breathe the air out, tuck it down and in, chin to the chest. When you go to breathe in, just rest those hands down on the thighs, sit up nice and tall. Great to have you, Diane, welcome. All right, once we're seated here, we're just gonna loosen up those shoulders a little bit more with some backward shoulder rolls. So you're gonna shrug the shoulders up and in towards the ears and then circle them back behind you, really drawing them back and down, about 5 times here. Shrugging up, and then draw them back and down. Broad chest. Breathe. Very good. Next, I want to loosen up our ankles a bit, and we'll also introduce that upper body as well. So sitting up nice and tall, you're going to lift one leg up off the ground, interlace the hands, and try to reach just in front of the knee. And now we want to use this for the upper body to draw those shoulders back. So you're engaging that upper and middle back. And now we'll rotate the ankle around about 5 to 8 times each direction. Keep that chin pulled in as well. Imagine you've got a string pulling your head straight up towards the ceiling. Go ahead and switch directions of that ankle roll. Circle that ankle the other way. Very good. In between sides, go ahead and set it down. And in between sides, you're going to do our forward fold from seated. So make sure you take note of which foot you were just holding. Sitting up tall, draw the belly in, hands on the legs. And then as you slide the hands down, pull that chin into the chest. And you're just seeing how close to the floor you can reach without forcing your body into any kind of stretched position. When you find your range of motion for this moment, breathe into the back. Nice deep breath in. On the exhale, see if your body wants to reach slightly farther. And then on that next inhale, start to work your way back up to that seated position, sliding back up the legs, sitting up nice and tall. Reposition if you need to. If you kind of lost that position on your sit bones, you can readjust your posture. Feet flat on the ground, and now we'll go that opposite leg, lifting that leg up, interlace those hands, shoulders down out of the ears as you draw those shoulders back. And then we're into our ankle rolls, 5 to 8 times each direction. Really think broad chest here as you squeeze those shoulder blades back, activating that mid back. Switch directions on that ankle roll if you have it. All right, and then when you finish that, go ahead and set it on down. And we're going to repeat that seated forward fold one more time. So sit tall, draw the abdomen in, hands on the knees to start. Draw your chin down to the chest and just nice and smooth, reaching down for those ankles. Allowing the back of the body to lengthen. And then use your breathing to assist that stretch. You're trying to expand your lung capacity. Really breathing into your back on the exhale. See if your body wants to stretch slightly more. On your next inhale, nice and slow, coming back up. Fantastic. All right, once you come back up, make sure you're not dizzy or anything. And then when you're ready, we're going to make our way up to standing. Hopefully you have some water nearby. So if you do, go ahead and grab a drink of water. We're going to loosen up the hips a little bit, and then we'll get into our first series. All right. So go ahead and stay with the feet about hip width apart, and we're going to go into our hip circles next. So just nice and smooth, circling through the hips. Very good. When you're ready, go ahead and switch directions. Nice smooth circles the other way. Fantastic. All right. We're going to be doing 3 rounds of this. For the first round, we're going to stay standing tall, and we're looking to activate the back side of the body. So we're going to be doing our standing hip extension. So what that's going to look like is you'll stand tall, support that upper body, start on one leg. You're going to point the foot in front of your body, lift the foot and toes, and glide it back, looking to squeeze the glute without arching your spine. So we're going to, when you're ready, you'll point the foot forward, lifting up out of the hips and just slightly glide back. You can even put the one hand on that glute so you can kind of support that back end, and you want to feel the glute kind of squeeze into the hand. So oftentimes it helps to have a little bit of a touch there. As you're moving through, we're working on some stability of that opposite hip. So if you need to rest it down for a second, you can rest that foot down and then glide it back, not letting that support hip kick out. So lift the foot, glide it straight back, keeping the toes pointing forward. One more here. Point the toe, lift the foot, and a gentle glide back. Very nice. All right, set both feet down. In between sides, we're going to practice our sleigh steps. So walk those feet outside the hips. And I was on my right leg. So if you were mirroring me, you may have been on your left. I just want to make sure you note which leg you were on, because we're going to be back to that exercise next. Arms spread wide to the side. We're going to shift our weight over to one side. You can keep that foot on the ground if you feel more solid there. Holding for a moment, coming down in between. Relax the arms and then lift up, coming to the other side. If you feel secure in your balance, or you feel like you can ready to practice that, as you lift up, you can lift up off that back foot. Breathe in as you cycle in between, and then a nice smooth exhale as you lift up, squeeze the glute of that trail leg down and up. Beautiful. Once more each way. Over, lift, long neck, tall chest, and bounce down the other side. Over and up, and rest. Fantastic. All right, coming back to that hip extension. As I mentioned before, I was on my right leg, so now I'm moving to my left. Toes pointing straight ahead. And when you're ready, you're going to lift that foot up, point the foot in front of you, and then glide it back. Again, if you want to use the hand of the same side leg, you can do it without holding on. If you feel really stable, foot forward, lift, and back. Watch that support leg, forward, up, and glide it back. It's not a huge range of motion here, and there's a tendency for the toe to rotate out and away. So make sure it continues to point forward. Halfway on this side. Point it forward, lift the foot, glide it back. 1 or 2 more. Forward, up, and back. 2, 1, and rest. All right, set both feet down. Go ahead and bring your arms up to the shoulders. We got our march and punch next. So when you're ready, you're going to really lift up, lift the knee off the ground, or lift the foot off the ground, trying to pull that knee up as high as you're comfortable. Lost my balance a little bit there. And then your cross body punch with the arms. So punch across. Feel a little bit unstable. Don't worry about how high you lift the knee. Oops, I missed which side I was on. So we're looking to go alternating sides. And you want to imagine those strings pulling you up towards the ceiling. Try to stay as balanced as you can. Good. 10 seconds. Breathing in. Try to breathe out with that crossbody punch. Wonderful. There you go. Keep those hands up above the shoulders. Finish that last punch and rest. All right, we're going to take 30 seconds and we'll be back to our hip extension. Now you could do it just how we did on that first round, or if you want to come into a little bit more of a forward position, I'm going to use the seat of the chair and my box here, which could also mimic a tabletop to come into more of a front body elevated. So what it's going to look like is I'll bow forward, place my hands on my table, walk the feet back, and now I'm going to pull my knee in towards my elbow and extend the hip back from here. So if you want to do that version, or you can stay tall and do the version we did to start. Either way, midline nice and neutral, soft bend in those knees. You do decide to come forward. 3, 2, 1, here we go. Draw the knee up and extend back, squeeze that glute. Breathe in as you pull the knee forward. Exhale as you glide it back. Very nice. We're working to not allow our low back to arch. I'm kicking my chair behind me. Breathe in and extend. Very nice. Up and back. As we did last time, we want to make sure we're not dropping into that support leg. So keep lifting up out of that hip. 1 or 2 more. Breathe in, draw the knee in. Exhale as you extend. And 2, 1, and rest. Just like last time, take note of which leg you're working. So I'm on my left this time. Standing tall in between sides. And we're going to go back to those sway steps. So I have my feet about hip width apart. Arms come out to the side. And then when you're ready, we sway the body to one side. You can come up onto one foot. That's great. If not, just practice shifting where your center of gravity is. So I can keep the foot down and just shift my weight, helping that body to adjust. Breathe in between, lift up, exhale. Wonderful. Breathe in and breathe out. Nice. In and out. Shoulders stay down out of the ears. Get about 1 or 2 more on each side. Good. Finish it out. Lift. And 3, 2, 1, and resting there. All right, switching sides for that hip extension. We'll use the back of the chair this time. You don't have to come down so far, but I can still kind of walk my feet back, and I'm still going to do the knee towards the elbow version. So when you're ready, I'm going to draw that knee up, and I'm probably going to keep my box here and extend that leg back. More space. Draw the knee up towards the elbow and then extending back, squeezing the glute, keeping the belly button pulled in. Breathe in as you draw that knee up. Exhale as you extend. Nice. In and back. Try to keep the toes pointing down towards the floor and not letting them rotate out and away. And back. 1 or 2 more. Full focus here is to squeeze the glute of that trail leg. 1 more time. And rest. Hi, Moose. Moose has got a bone he's working on here, getting closer and closer to me. All right, back to our march and punch. Coming back to the center of your mat, walking your feet in. Arms come up to the side. And then when you're ready, lifting up, punching across the body, but trying to keep your hips and knees square. With that punch, exhale, nice strong breath out. Breathe in as the feet come down. Breathe out as you punch across. Balance practice in disguise here. Coming up on that one leg. We probably don't always think about marching as balance work, but really anytime we're on one foot, that's some balance. Running is the same way for people that run. They need to have good balance so they can support their bodies because they go onto that single leg support. Need that stability. Let's go 1 more on each side. Strong exhale. And take a rest. Good job. We'll take 30 seconds and we'll go back for 1 more round. So grab a drink. Goodness. We'll be back to that elevated hip extension here in 15 seconds. I'm gonna my table up. All right, let's look to start on your left leg. We'll get everyone on the same page here so we don't have to try to remember. If you're gonna bow forward, wide hand print to support those hands down in 3, 2, 1. Let's work that left leg. Lifting that knee up or pointing the foot forward and extend that foot back. Toes point down. Breathe in as you draw it in. Exhale on that extension, reaching that leg back. Nice, Diane. Good. Breathe in, draw that knee up. Exhale. Once you know the motion, try to have your head stationary and neutral. So you look right between the hands or forward at the wall. Still focusing to protect that low back. And it's common. I'm feeling some fatigue start to happen in my right leg and my right hip. So keep focusing to lift up out of that hip. Last one, up, down, and rest. Woo, walk it in. Standing tall. Visiting our sway steps in between sides. Feet just outside the hips. Draw those shoulders back as you raise those arms up. And then when you're ready, we'll sway the body to one side, lifting up in between sides. Relax those arms down and then draw it up, shift the weight the other way. Wonderful. Down in between, kind of come into a little mini squat. And then like you're going to fly up towards the ceiling. Good. Breathe in, coming down. Exhale, lifting up. Wonderful. Let's get about 2 or 3 more each direction. Try to be playful with it. Try to release any criticism you have of yourself. Good. We all make mistakes. Our body sometimes functions maybe better than we expect. And then oftentimes maybe it functions not quite as well as we might expect. But the kinder we can be to it, the better relationship we have with it. All right, finish that out and take a pause. We got to come to our hip extension on the opposite side. So if you were with me, we did the left leg last time. Now we're going to get ready for our right leg. We'll extend right over moose here. So support that upper body best as able. Make sure you're neutral through the midline. Coming to a little bit of that forward fold position. And when you're ready, right leg this time, lift the knee up and then extend the leg back. Squeeze the glute, avoiding that arch of that lower spine. Good. Breathe in as you lift the knee up. Exhale with that extension. Still lifting up out of that support leg. And let's be here live. If the chewing on the bone is a little bit too much or obnoxious, just please let me know. We can send them outside. Halfway, friends. Breathe in, draw it up, exhale, send it back. If it starts to get to be too much on that left hip, just set both feet down and take a little bit of a pause. You can always join us again. 1 or 2 more. In, back, up. Squeeze that glute as you extend and rest. Nice job. All right, standing tall. Before we go into that march and punch, let's do a little hip rock here. Gently rocking those hips side to side. Feels good after all that stabilizing on that single leg. And we're going to get ready for that march and punch. So walk the feet in so they're just underneath those hips. Draw those shoulders back, hands to the shoulders. And when you're ready, lift up. Breathing out with that crossbody punch. Think about pushing that big toe down to help support that leg that you're standing on. Breathe in, come into a little mini squat in between. Nice. Keeping those arms up, try to punch straight across about the height of the shoulders. Good, 10 seconds. Down, lift. And 3, 2, 1, and all done there. Wonderful. All right, circuit 1 done. Let's grab a drink. All righty. We do a little bit of stretching here. We'll get ready for our next circuit. Got some deadlifts or hinging work coming up next. So that's what we're going to warm up next. those feet about hip width apart. Just like we did last time, draw the belly in, and we're gonna do a few good mornings together. So with a nice soft bend in the knees, go ahead and go into our I Dream a Genie arms, crossing those arms over the shoulders. And now we're gonna practice that long spine position. So you're gonna send your hips back as you raise those elbows up to help keep that chest tall. And then pull that chin in, try to look right down between those arms. As you stand tall, rest the arms down against your chest, squeezing the glutes. Staying all the way up, and we're gonna do that twice more. Maintain that soft bend in the knee, pull the belly in towards the spine, send those hips back, raise those elbows up. Very good, and standing from there. All the way up at the top. Very good, one more time, soft bend those knees, draw the abdomen in, really pull those elbows high. And all the way up from there. Very good. All right, next we're gonna look to open up our hip flexors. So if you want to mirror me, you can step your this is my right, your left foot back, keep your right foot forward. And we want to look to set that foot all the way down on the heel with the feet hip width apart. You can either stick with those I Dream a Genie arms, or if you feel comfortable to do so, you can raise your arms up to overhead. So we're working on that hip shift here. Shift those hips forward. And what we're going to do next is after those hips shift forward, you're going to rotate your body towards your front leg. So if you're mirroring me, you're going to rotate over towards your right leg, squeezing the glute of that back hip. And then we'll unwind. I'm going to bring my arms down to I Dream a Genie. We're going to do it twice more. Rock your hips back, rock your hips forward, lift the chest, lift the elbows, and then turning towards that front leg. All the while trying to really squeeze that trail glute. Nice. Back to neutral. One more time. You can rest those arms down as you rock the hips back. Lift those arms up as you rock the hips forward with both feet firmly planted. Now rotate over towards your right side. Try to feel that glute on that left hip. Trying to squeeze the back of that body. And go ahead and release. Rest those arms down. In between sides, we're going to do our standing toe touch. So similar to what we did from a seated position, soft bend those knees, belly nice and strong here, drawing everything in, hands on the thighs. Draw your chin down to your chest and nice and slow, slide the hands down the legs, seeing where your range of motion is from standing. When you get into that bottom position, if you can hold it there for 1 or 2 breaths. Staying strong in the belly, keeping that soft bend in the knees. And then when you're ready, push into the floor and gradually come back up to standing. Excellent. And now we're going to switch sides for that hip flexor opening. So anchor your left foot down, step the right foot back. Make sure you rock all the way back onto the heel. Feet should be hip width apart. And I started overhead before. So you can go I Dream a Genie arms the whole time, or if you want to reach up to overhead on the first one. So now we focus hips back, hips forward, lift the chest, squeeze the glute, and we're rotating towards the front leg. Try to turn the head and neck as well. Use your eyes looking over that shoulder. And then we'll unwind. I'm going to bring my arms down to my I Dream a Genie position, crossing them over the shoulders. Hips rock back. Hips come forward, lift the chest, squeeze the glute of that trail leg. And now I'm going to pivot my arms again. Turn the head and neck. Looking over towards your left side. Very good. Unwind. Rest the arms down to your chest. Final time. Rock the hips back. Rock those hips forward. Lift the hips. Lift the arms. And then grab onto that right arm as you rotate towards your left. Squeezing the glute of that trail leg. Trying to squeeze the right hip. Unwind and release. Very good. Just take into a little side step arm swing. All right, so in this next series, we're going to be doing some deadlifts. Sounds a little bit scary sometimes, but deadlift meaning picking weight up off the ground, practicing that forward fold or forward hinge like we did with our good mornings. And also, if you have a step stool around, you're going to want to have that out and available, because we're going to be working some step ups in between or as part of the exercises. So I'll have my step up here. And then light to moderate weight. So I'm just going to be holding one weight between my legs. It's going to look a little bit like this. We're going to be bowing forward, lowering that weight towards the floor, and standing straight up in between. If you want to go a little bit heavier, you can also hold a dumbbell on each side and walk the feet a little bit closer, and it would look similar from there. Bowing forward, keeping the back nice and flat. But before we get started, let's grab a quick drink. We'll get started here in about 30 seconds. We're going to be practicing for about 45 seconds on each exercise, and we'll have a little bit of stretching in between sides on the step-ups. All right, 15 seconds. Moose, can I move you just a little bit, buddy? Come on, can you come over here? He's like, what the heck, lady? All right, getting ready for those deadlifts. Feet nice and wide, holding that weight right between your legs. Draw those shoulders back. And then when you're ready, long spine, keeping the weight right between the legs, lowering it down towards the floor, then pushed into your feet, squeeze the glutes and stand. Pulling the belly in as you bow forward, chin in, looking down as you bow forward. And then when you stand tall, look straight ahead. Almost halfway. If you move nice and slow, you're going to get anywhere between 5 and 8 reps here. Forward fold, forward bow rather. Standing tall, that's 30 seconds. We're going to practice another 15. Keeping those shoulders pulled back. My head isn't the best example because I'm trying to look at you there live. So pull the chin in, looking down. Finish that rep and take a pause. We're moving into our step ups next. I recommend, if you can, have your stair maybe behind a chair or somewhere that you can kind of stabilize your upper body a little bit. You want to start on your non-dominant leg. I'm going to make the assumption it's the left for many people. When you're ready, you can support that upper body. You're going to pick that knee up, put as much as your foot on that stair as you can. And here we go. You want to focus to push straight down, looking to extend through the hip, stand all the way up. And you're going to step off, bring both feet off the step. Step back on. If you're not holding on, you can reach those arms straight out, pulling up and forward, and then stepping back, lowering down. Some things we're focused on here, the knee position. Our knees tend to drop in when we're going up and down stairs. So keep an eye on your knee, push straight down to that big toe. And as the knee drops in, the hips tend to kick out. So we're trying to keep all that in a good alignment. Let's go about one more here, stepping it back, stepping it up, chest up as best you can, push down to that stair, finish that rep and rest. So if you are mirroring me, I'm on my right, so maybe you are on your left leg. In between sides, we're gonna do our little side stretch, where you're gonna take one hand, reach towards the opposite thigh, other hand reaches up and over, see if you can peer up towards that hand. And then we switch, flow through, switching the hand, reaching across, reaching up. Good. About 3 times each side. Maintaining a soft bend in the knees throughout. Very good. Try to find that flow here, reaching up and across, and rest. All right, we're going to come back to the step ups, about 15 seconds till we start. And now you'll be working your stronger leg, so your more dominant side. If you are not here for the last round and you want to even yourself up, just go alternating legs. But otherwise, we're going to go all on the right leg. When you're ready, put as much of your foot up on that step as you can. Reach those arms out or hold on. And here we go, standing tall, stepping back. Watch the knee also doesn't drop in on the step down. Sometimes we can lock it in on the up and keep it nice and solid. And then on the down, sometimes we lose focus. So keep that good alignment. So what I'm talking about is sometimes when we step up, the knee drops in. So you want to keep it level. And as you step down, same thing. And then what happens at the hips is the hips tend to kick out to the side. So you want to use your midline, keep everything in alignment. Pull everything up and in. 1 or 2 more, standing tall. And 3, 2, 1, and take a rest. Great job. All right, grab a quick drink of water. That's set 1. We're gonna do it twice more with a little bit of stretching before we go back to those deadlifts. All right, so let's go behind the back stretch with the feet about hip width apart. Pull the front of the ribs down so you don't arch the spine. Draw them in. Try to interlace the hands behind you. Open that chest as you look to extend those elbows. And if you want to add the forward fold, you bend into your knees, send your hips back, and just gently pull those arms up over top of you. Very good. Lower that head down, looking towards the floor. When you're ready, come back up to standing. Take those arms out, and we're going to get ready for round 2 of the deadlift. So this time I'm going to show it with 2 weights. I'm holding 2 lighter dumbbells. I could do it between the legs, but sometimes that feels a little bit awkward with 2. So instead, I'm going to walk my feet in, so the toes are pointing more forward, and I'm going to imagine I'm holding 2 grocery bags here. With those shoulders held back, stomach drawn in. When you're ready, you're going to send your hips back. Keep your chest up as you bow forward. Squeezing those shoulders back and down. And you want to have those weights close to the feet. So I don't want them swinging out away from me. I'm using my upper body to lock that position in. Very good. Looks great. Bowing down, then squeeze the tush as you stand tall. And now we're going to start to look down as we bow forward. Keep from overextending that neck. Good. 20 seconds left. Nice and controlled, lowering down. And then squeeze the back side as we stand tall. Now draw the belly in, bowing forward. Maybe one more. Long spine. Standing all the way up. When you finish that rep, go ahead and rest. Making our way to step-ups on your non-dominant leg. Eyes looking forward. I'm going to start here in 5. So when you're ready, lift that knee up. Put as much of your foot on that step as you can. Either holding on with the arms or reaching straight out. Here we go. Standing tall and controlling down. All on the same leg. Hips level. Knees strong. Good, Diane. You got it, Shirley. Keeping those eyes up. Coming all the way up to the top. Fantastic. Want to open those hips. All that means is we want to stand tall. So sometimes people kind of stay crouched forward. Extend through that hip, ideally on the one leg. So as you're pushing that foot down, come all the way up, trying to stand tall before your second foot comes down to meet. Go ahead, maybe 1 or 2 more. Push through, open the hip. And 3, 2, 1, and rest. Very good. In between sides, we'll come back to the center of our mat or our area here, and we'll go back to that side stretch, reaching up. One hand reaches across, and we'll get about 2 or 3 on each side. See if the low back gets tight. You don't want to neglect the side of the body. Oftentimes you focus right where you feel tight, but all of our body is interconnected. We have this material called fascia. It's like saran wrap that wraps over top of our muscles and our blood vessels and our nerves. And we need to keep the body gliding through so everything can move in conjunction. All right, finish out that side stretch. Then we're going to go back to our step-ups. This time it will be your dominant leg. So whichever leg you feel a bit more confident on, that's the leg we're going to practice this time through. All right, standing tall. When you're ready, you're going to put as much of your foot on that block as you can or on your step, reaching out and pulling through all the way up. Very good. Our 2 main points here, alignment of the knee and alignment of the hip. Our core, our midline, it is really our foundation. I mean, obviously the feet are, but as far as our function, that midline functions to really help with our balance, help keep everything gliding through. So we're always going to focus to engage through that midline. Yep. Drive that foot into the step. Really want to create that downward force. That's where you build that strength. So pushing down, keeping those eyes up. Fantastic. Maybe 1 more. Knee up, foot pushes down, all the way up to standing. And when you finish that rep, take a rest. Nice job. Grab a drink. Do a different stretch here. All right. We're going to do a modification of kind of a down dog by keeping the upper body elevated. Soft bend the knees. I'm going to use my chair. You could also use a wall or a tabletop. You're going to walk your feet back, drawing the stomach in. You can have the feet about hip width apart, and then you're going to lower your head between your arms. Watch from arching that low back. So the whole time I'm pulling the belly button in as I invite my heart a little bit closer to the floor. So as you breathe in, you can come a little bit out of the stretch, kind of elevating up, breathing into that mid back. And then on the exhale, slowly lower that heart towards the floor, watching the lower back. 2 more breaths. Nice long arms. Try to straighten out those arms, Diane. Just reach them out long in front of you. Maybe walk your feet back a hair farther. Good. One more time. Breathe in and breathe out. When you finish that, walk it in, stand it back up. Very good. We go one more time through deadlifts and step ups. We'll start here in 20 seconds.
Can we also do that mummy walk or something where you work your feet? Because I could feel my my toes kind of crunching,
Crunching,
cramping when we were doing.
Yeah, we can do that near the end. What we like, where we work on the feet a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll do that near the end today.
Yeah.
Alrighty, thanks, Diane. I always appreciate knowing what you're dealing with. All right, friends, when you're ready, let's grab our weights. Either 2 weights, 1 in each hand, or 1 weight between the legs. Draw those shoulders back, soft bend the knees, and then here we go. Draw the belly in, long spine as you bow forward. So we're just practicing those everyday activities where we need to pick something up off the ground. So you want to be able to bow down, reaching down, picking up your grocery bags, bottles of laundry detergent. Sometimes it's small children, small animals. Moose isn't all that small anymore. He's well over 50 pounds. So we've got a good heavy moose carry when it comes time for that. Moose is my dog, for anyone that doesn't know. Bowing forward, squeeze those glutes, standing tall. 1 or 2 more. Make sure you maintain that soft bend the knees. And straight up. Final time. Long spine, bowing down, and all the way up. Squeeze those shoulders back. Fantastic. All right, let's change up this last round a little bit. Instead of going 1 leg alone, we're going to go alternating legs, and we're going to practice the step ups for a minute. So you'll step up on the right side, step down, and then on your left side. So alternating legs, standing nice and tall. When you're ready, go ahead and place 1 foot on the box. On your step, reaching out, pushing down, coming all the way up, stepping off, and now the opposite leg steps up. Opposite foot, eyes looking straight ahead, pull through, and controlling off on that side. So once again, watching the knees, keeping the hips square, and building that strength by focusing on a downward push, pushing down to that step, all the way up. Fantastic. Stepping off. Big step up, push down to that step, standing tall. Good. Just over halfway. Let's look to get about 2 more on each foot. Knowing everybody moves a little bit different, so it's okay if you don't quite get into up and down. Pushing down, lifting up. Very nice. Fully extend on that 1 leg. All right, wonderful. I'm going to go 1 more time here. Standing tall and take a pause. Fantastic. All right, let's go ahead and meet in the chair. Grab a drink, and we're going to do a couple stretches there. Moose. Buddy, why don't you take it over your bed? All right, so we had that request here with some cramping on the bottoms of the feet. So it's kind of a great conjunction to be able to stretch the hips and also try to work on your feet. So not everybody can do it, but if you can, We did that stretch earlier with the ankle mobility. So instead of the ankle rolls, you're gonna try to bring your foot up, kind of cross it over. So we kind of come into a figure 4 position, lowering the one knee down. And now when you're here, if you have that mobility to get into your foot, you can use your thumbs. I'm gonna come a little bit closer here. So you can use your thumbs like on the bottom of your foot pad. And I'm gonna start up right by the ball of my foot. So here's my big toe. I follow that big toe down. I'm coming just below the ball of the foot here. And now I'm going to use both thumbs. And you just want to think about kind of kneading the area. So I'm just kind of massaging the area, pushing into the sole of the foot. And if you find a tender spot, you can hold that spot with both thumbs, curl the toes in towards you, and then extend the toes back. And then I can move the hand just slightly, find another little bit of a sore spot, push into that spot, curl the toes in, extend the toes back, and that's going to get those tissues to slide and help break up any kind of adhesions that can start to form in the arch of the foot. All righty. So make your way out of that side. We'll do the same thing on the opposite side. Other alternatives, if you can't get to the bottom of the foot, if you have a tennis ball or ideally like a lacrosse ball, you can get them at like Dick's Sporting Goods, and you can place it on the floor and kind of roll your foot over that ball. So if you're like, I can't grab the bottom of my foot, that's another way to work that area. All right, so let's go ahead and come to the opposite leg, bringing it up, crossing it over best you can with that knee lower down. So you get a nice hip stretch here. And then if you're able to reach the bottom of the foot, again, I've used both thumbs, follow the big toe down, come down below the ball of the foot there. And then I'm just going to knead the area of the arch. So just like a kind of pushing one thumb in, then the other. I'm kind of feeling around for any sore spots. If you're like, ooh, there's a sore spot, hold that position with both thumbs, curl those toes in towards you, and then extend the toes back. You can do that like 2 to 3 times while you're holding that area. And you can move the position ever so slightly, gently pushing down with the thumbs, holding that area. So you kind of pin those tissues down, and then we curl the toes in, lift the toes up. The whole idea there is help to break up any adhesions that can get those areas caught and they don't slide as well. All righty. All right, so even if you weren't able to hold your foot, you should have had a good stretch on that hip. So go ahead and bring that knee up. We're going to make our way back up to standing. We're going to do probably just one round here because we're a little bit shy on time. We're going to practice our squatting for about 1.5 minutes, and then we're going to do one set of a bicep curl to an overhead press to keep those shoulders moving. So go ahead and make your way on up. We'll practice our squats. Shirley, you have a question or just adjusting your camera? All right, thank you. So as you come on up to standing, depending upon your comfort with the squat, if you're a little bit unsure with your squats, I like to support the upper body. So I use my chair. If you have a doorway nearby, you can stand in the doorway and hold onto your door frame and squat down from there, or a countertop also works great. So set those feet about hip width apart, holding on or reach those arms out. Whenever you're ready, you're going to send your hips back, push your knees wide. And now we're looking to see how far we can get our hips down while keeping contact with our feet into the ground. And then what we focused on those step ups, similar position here, you want to think about generating that downward force. I push my feet into the floor as I stand up tall. Very good. If you're not holding on, then reach your arms out in front of you. Encourage that chest to stay tall as you send those hips back. Very nice. Keeping your heels planted without lifting your toes. So oftentimes as we sit back into our heels, our toes will rise up off the ground. So we want to keep that nice firm foundation. So push the big toes down. Very good. Continue to practice this, resting anytime you need. Knees pushing wide, making space for those hips to lower down. Very good. A couple more here. Sitting back, eyes up, chest tall. Drive into those feet, standing all the way up. Wonderful. Last one, if you've got another one in you. Eyes up, chest up. Maintain that range of motion. Very good. And then stand tall and rest. Fantastic. All right, grab a drink. And then probably a lighter pair of dumbbells. You can do those standing or seated. We're going to be doing our curl up to our shoulders and then our press to overhead. Let me come closer again. So as you curl in, palms are going to be facing towards you. And as you press to overhead, you're going to rotate your hands. I know they lost the mirror. So as I press overhead, my palms face away, push as high as I can. And as I lower down, I pivot the hands back in, fully extend the elbows at the side, curl into your shoulders, elbows stay in close, and then pivot as you push to overhead. Very good. Elbows forward, all the way down, curl it in, and push up high. Beautiful. Yep. And if anything is going on that it feels hard to reach both arms, you could go one arm at a time. Curl it in, press it up, bring it down, and then switch. If you are able to do both arms together, that's fantastic. Good. We're going to spend another full minute here. So just use your guidance with your body. If you're like, hey, I need to rest sooner than that, then by all means. Otherwise, we'll just do a little bit longer circuit because this will be our last bit of weight training. Just wanted to make sure we opened up that upper body. Squeeze that tush, especially those of you standing as you press up to overhead, and just make sure you don't start to arch the back. Sometimes as we press up, we'll lean away. So you want to stay tall, push smooth. Very good. About another 20 seconds. So 2 to 3 more cycles here. Curl it in, elevate high, elbows forward, and all the way down. Beautiful. 1 or 2 more. In, up, down, and open. Fantastic. Squeeze the glutes. Last one. Woo. Perfect. All right, go ahead and set it down and shake it out. So those of you that are here, we're going to open up the chest next. So if you can, go ahead and make your way to a doorway. I'm going to use the garage door here. I can bring this a little bit closer. So we're going to go arm up to 90 degrees, anchor it against the wall. Or if you have a door frame, it's great. You can kind of just push your hand right against the door frame. Inside leg steps forward. Again, no sway back. So ribs tuck in, lean your chest forward. So you want to get a nice opening here. Feel the chest stretch. And then you're going to rotate away, looking over that opposite shoulder. And breathe. As you turn the head, turn the eyes as well. So you're trying to see how far over that opposite shoulder can you glance. Go ahead and unwind and come off. All right, we're going to stay on this side. Just adjust my frame a little bit. So see if you can bring your elbow now up against the wall or up against your door frame. And now the inside leg is going to step back. And you're just going to try to stretch that arm out, trying to bring the elbow against the wall. Working that elbow up above the head as able. Yep, so I've just got my elbow up here, kind of leaning my side body towards the wall. If you can straighten that arm out, pull the chin in. Very good. And coming out of that side. Now we'll go ahead and switch sides. So walk it around. Same thing other side, starting with the pec stretch. So try to bring that elbow right up to about that 90-degree position. Place the hand on the wall, ribs tucked down, inside leg steps forward, and kind of lean your chest into it. So you open it up, and then you're going to rotate away. Very nice. Turn the head, turn the eyes, looking over that shoulder best you can. Breathing here. Good. Unwind the body, walk that foot in. And now I'm going to try to bring that elbow up as high as I can against the wall. Now my inside leg is going to step back. And I'm just going to try to work my body towards that wall without arching the back. Just trying to bring the arm down. Elbow is up. If you want to extend the arm, you can. Reaching the hand up above your head. A little more breaths there. And make your way out of that. All right, go ahead and join me seated. We'll stretch out the neck a little bit to finish. Finish all the good stuff, Moose? All right, as you come down to seated, sit up nice and tall. Go ahead and draw the chin down to the chest, looking down towards the floor. Feel the back of the neck stretch out gently. And then we're going to look straight ahead. Draw the shoulders back as you look up. Very good. Coming back forward. And now we're going to do that twice more. I'm just laughing because Moose felt like he had to come closer with his bone. Looking down. If you want to use the fingertips on top of the head, you're barely touching here if you do this. It just gives a little bit of overpressure on the, to help give a little bit better stretch. Very good. And as we go to look up, you're going to gently cross the hands just underneath the collarbones. Use the hands to just pull the tissue down slightly. And now we look up. All right, very good. Looking forward. All right, on the next version, hi Moose. As you look down, you're going to bring your chin towards your opposite collarbone. So if you want to mirror me, you're going to look down towards your right collarbone. Take your left shoulder, kind of roll it back, traction it down. You can even kind of reach the hand out to the side to get a nice gentle stretch along the side of the neck and trap area. And similar to how we did before, if you want to use the middle finger, reaching that right hand up and just barely touching the left side of the head to encourage a little bit more stretch here. Breathing. And then gently release. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So chin pulls in, looking down. Now would be towards your left collarbone. You're going to roll your right shoulder back and down, traction it down. You can turn the palm up. And if you want to use the left hand, one finger of the left hand barely touching the opposite side of the head. Get a little bit of a traction there. And gradually release there. Very nice. Next, let's go into some gentle circles. So you'll circle your head down and back 2 to 3 times each direction. Go ahead and reverse directions when you're ready, gently circling back the other way. Fantastic. And now we're going to do our lateral flexion. So for this, instead of thinking about like dropping your ear down to the opposite shoulder, imagine that I was there. I got to say hello to you in person. I would imagine taking your ear and trying to raise it up towards the ceiling. So you want to think about lengthening the side of the neck. And then similar to what we just did, you can kind of pull that shoulder back and down, turn the palm up. And then again, you're just thinking about, I'm trying to lift my ear towards the ceiling. Breathe in there a couple of breaths. And then gently pull out of that. Same thing other side. So traction the shoulder down. You can turn the palm up. And now the opposite ear, raising it up towards the ceiling, stretching the side of that neck. Chin pulls in. Sometimes we lose the head forward. So pull that chin in. And gently release there. Hi, Moose. All right. And then the final bit is the rotation. So as I sit tall, I'm going to turn my head looking over one shoulder. And you can take 1 or 2 fingers, not on your jaw, on your cheekbone. So over towards your nose. Just give a little bit of an overpressure on the cheekbone. Release. Same thing other side. Sitting tall, chin pulls in, turn the head and neck. 1 or 2 fingers on the cheekbone of that side. Rotate the head, turn the eyes, see how far you can look over that shoulder. And let's go once more each direction. So sitting tall, chin in, gently rotate. A little bit of overpressure. Good, back to center and balancing out the second side. Turning the eyes, breathing, and relax. Very good. All right, final 3 breaths, everybody together. On the inhale, raise those shoulders up and into the ears, rotate the palms forward. On the exhale, long neck, broad chest, draw those shoulders back and down. Good. Breathe in, raise up. And exhale. Release all that stress. Breathe in, hope, peace, some love. Exhale that tension, stress, any conflict in your life. Let it all go. And give yourself a little round of applause. Thanks so much for being here today with me and Moose. And stay hydrated. Take care of yourself and hope to see you next time.